I mean, when we came off Love Island and, people that were around about that time, season 5 was massive. We were, and I say this all the time, and I don't care what people say in return to it, we were probably one of the most famous people in the country at that point when we came off that show. I was going a real shit time through the 5 years post Love Island, just trying to work out who I was. Ended up in alcohol, ended up in drugs. I don't even think I would have spoke about this the last time, but I ended up in a point where I tried to overdose. Mate, do you know what? One day I was just getting tagged on loads of stuff on social media, and it was Mitch just chatting shit about, wanting to this boxing match.
Man, Anton.
We're back,
We're
mate.
back, mate. What was our nickname, actually? Was it Banton? Remember the first time we ever met?
No, that was my name. What are you talking about? I was called Banton. How did you put that together?
No, you were called Anton. Oh, no, wait. No, what was it Banton from, actually?
Love Island.
Banton.
So Love Island, when I went in the first time around, because I was fucking hilarious, obviously. They started calling me Banton. So then eventually when Belle came in later down the line, they couldn't call me Banton because I was already Banton.
Okay.
So we got called Belton, and it was
Belton. Got a few questions about her.
But anyway.
No, I was just thinking, remember the first time we ever met, it was in Extreme Gym, and we were both with the same kind of coaching company and stuff, and I was actual shitting it. I was like, no way, mate, it was Anton. And I was like texting my mentor, like, should I go up and like speak to him? But you were obviously part of Linus and stuff like that as well. But I was just remember the first video that we done, I came up and asked you if we could record a video in the gym.
I was like in the middle of a leg press, and they just randomly came up to me and were just like, hey mate.
Who's this little chubby young guy coming up to me?
Mate, I loved it because like I just love when people are out there and just go for it, and you're like, can we do a little video? I was like, fucking alright then.
Aye, might as well, man.
Not?
Look when it's came to as well.
Yeah, exactly. The second podcast, mate. And mate, what a setup you've got now. It's looking great, man. Looking really, really good.
No, I really appreciate it, mate. No, it's been a graft, and obviously the last time you were on, it was a studio that I was using. I just mentioned there, it was hard trying to kind of fight other people to book it in. It was expensive as well, but I just like now having everything in my control.
Absolutely.
And I like how it's just, there's not like a big massive camera crew behind you or 10 cameras or anything. It just feels like a kind of sit down chat.
I think that more so now, just even across like social media, YouTube, everything, people are craving that now, right? Like where it's just a lot more natural. Even on Instagram, like the way you used to do a story is what you put in your main feed now.
Yeah, no, I know.
And it does better than what it would, what a high-produced, edited video does. It's just mental. And I think it's maybe got a lot to do with, maybe I'm getting a bit too deep too early on, but it's getting a lot to do with AI. I think people just want to see natural, real shit.
Yeah, and it's so hard to actually differentiate between what's real and what's not, honestly. I know you're not like massive into football, but there was this penalty incident with Celtic like last week, and I've pure shared pictures like, look, it definitely hits his hand. Mate, I've zoomed in and like the Motherwell kit's got like a Chinese sponsor on it. I was like, oh no, man, I've actually been done by AI. No. But obviously talking about the last time you were on, it was about 3 years ago or so now.
Yeah.
So I suppose the initial question, what's changed? What is Anton like now compared to the one that was on the pod originally?
So much has happened. Obviously, I told you after that podcast, because I think I'd said on that podcast I've got something big coming up, and that was obviously, I knew I was going back in All Stars, and I told you after the show, didn't I?
I went right down to the bookies and put it. Nah, I'm kidding.
If it wasn't for my partner, maybe I would have. Maybe I would have. Yeah, mate, like a lot's happened. Obviously, I don't know how much I spoke about it in the last podcast, but I was going through a real shit time. I was going a real shit time through the 5 years post Love Island, just trying to work out who I was. Ended up in alcohol, ended up in drugs. I don't even think I would have spoke about this the last time, but I ended up in a point where I tried to overdose, which I know is pretty deep for the first part of this podcast. But mate, I was in a bad place, and I was just getting myself back to the old Anton, and Love Island came knocking on the door again. And you're in this kind of situation where you're like, well, this was the thing that I'm not saying Love Island was the thing, but what came after Love Island was the thing that put me into the worst years of my life, ultimately, and into my lowest lows. And then you've got this question where you're like, I'm getting back to me, and then it comes chapping again. And Love Island's a once in a lifetime opportunity, right? And then you're like, how has this happened? So I had to ask myself the question, like, should I do this? And I came to the conclusion that I had to go back to go forward. So going back was the best experience / worst experience of my life. I hated every minute on the show. It was so boring. I just felt too old for it. Obviously, coming off the show, made the final, felt like I'd showed a whole new Anton from the first time around, and the love was unbelievable. But the real test comes when you come off that show, and I knew that. All the PA offers again to all these personal appearances, and just stayed true to myself, never done it, and just kept my head in the game.
Yeah,
so,
and to touch on that, because obviously we'll go into Love Island a wee bit later and stuff, but just off the bat though, like, you could really see the difference in you compared to, I think, the first season that you went on, obviously compared to All Stars. You can see how much you kind of grew and matured, and like you just said there, you felt a bit too old for it, but I think you could see that in you compared to maybe some of the other boys, like obviously Mitch and people like that as well. Sorry, I didn't even have this like planned or anything. Was there a boxing match on the card between him and you?
Yes.
Mate, you'd smash him, mate. Like, and I'm not just saying this because you're here. You would leather him, mate. I've seen you on the pads.
So, I'm not bad on the pads. but in saying that, the pads don't hit back.
That is true, man. That is true.
The pads don't hit back. Mate, do you know what? One day I was just getting tagged on loads of stuff on social media. And it was Mitch just chatting shit about, wanting to this boxing match. I think he was at a Misfits event and he was wanting to do it. So, I was like, I just went up on my TikTok and was like, well, let's go kind of thing. And then he was like, yep. So managements were very close to doing the deal. I started sharing some stuff in the pads, whether that was a case or not, I'm not sure. Really started training for it. And all of a sudden he messaged me. He's like, bro, I've got a lot coming up with work. I've got a lot coming up with work over the next few months, so I'm not going to be able to do this. And that was it.
So, as we say in Scotland, they shat it then.
Yeah, basically.
And is there actual like beef there between you? Or you are all good?
Do you know what? I actually gained quite a lot of respect for Mitch when we actually came out the villa. Because when that whole boxing thing was going on, we were going back and forward, and he's like, Anton, I do genuinely have the utmost respect for you. Obviously, the way things played out in the villa, he says, I'm my character, I have to play up to my character. And I thought, do you know what, if you can honestly, I think in life, if you make mistakes, we all do, especially when you're in that heightened environment, as long as you can hold your hands up and say, do you know what, I was wrong, then that's fine. And that's what he done, and he's always been okay with me. I wouldn't say we're the best of friends, we don't speak every day, but if I seen him on a night out or whatever, we'd say hi to each other. And I really respected the fact that he was just like open and honest about that as well.
And he's good TV, isn't he?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, obviously it is great TV, but I always found that like at the expense of what a female's feelings.
And obviously that was a big argument, the big kind of blow, but you gained so much respect for that after.
Mate.
I was just refreshing Twitter and everybody was like, mate, top guy. And even, I think I actually maybe reshared a clip from our original pod. Mate, see on TikTok, usually the abuse that everybody gets, mate, all the comments were brilliant about you, mate. Really, really good. I actually got a lot of goosebumps when you said that, because it was funny when we were, when that argument happened, right, I believe it or not, people might not believe this, but I've actually got a really bad fucking temper. Right, I go from 0 to 100. And the only person that saw it in my face was my mum. She said to me when I came off the show, she went, I seen your face, and I thought, oh no. And I had to take a second, and you see it in the clip when you watch it back, and I just looked down at the floor, and I thought to myself, who the fuck are you calling a dick? We're Scottish at the end of the day, right? And then I don't know, then I just was like, well, the only way I can do it is I know I'm smarter than you, I know I'm better with words, and I know I'm right in the situation, so all I have to do is express that. And mate, I've watched that back, and I thought, there's not one word I could have said better, and it even rhymed. Yeah, I know, but it was quite impressive, mate. It was like a mad speech on the spot, but lecturing them at the same time.
And I came away from that, and I think it was Georgia, obviously, at the time, and she was like, what's just happened there? And I went, I think I've just done a thing.
You're in your head like, yes, this is going so viral back home.
I was just like, yeah, I think that was good.
You just stood on business, bro. That's it, man.
Yeah.
An episode of the Don Diaries is proudly sponsored by Black Rooster Piri Piri. If you've not heard of Black Rooster before, then you're seriously missing out. We're talking flame-grilled peri-peri chicken, unreal burgers, wraps, loaded fries, a crazy range of sides, and the sauces are incredible too. It's actually became my go-to when I need something quick that still tastes quality, and most importantly, it fits into my calorie and macro goals. My personal favourite order is the chicken quesadilla with the side of spicy rice, and if I'm feeling adventurous, I get some mozzarella sticks or mac and cheese bites and put it through the rice, and it gives it that extra crunch. So if you're hungry after listening to this episode, get yourself down to your local Black Rooster or order online now, and you can thank me later. Well, you handle yourself really well, innit? Obviously, mate. We'll talk a wee bit more about Love Island as well, but I just kind of wanted to ask you then, what is a kind of typical week looking like for you just now? Because you're obviously dead focused on the personal training, coaching, business side of things now.
I think that, like I said, when I came off Love Island, I kind of lost myself a little bit. I've been doing the fitness game since I was 17 years old, obviously been training since I was 15. And it's just always my passion was to help as many people as possible. And that's why I went on Love Island in the first place. But ultimately, I just lost myself in that process, forgot about it, started becoming more materialistic, more arrogant, thinking I was too good for that game almost, just completely lost myself. So when I was kind of getting back to me, I got right back into it, and it was hard because everything started to become about money. Because when you're doing these PAs, you're earning so much fucking money. It's Premiership football wages that you're earning at that time. And when that starts to come away, you just can't see yourself going back to being a PT or doing online coaching or whatever it is, right? As much as we make good money from it. But then I realised the goal was never money. That was a byproduct of helping people. So I just got back to that, and just really, really focused and leaned into my brand, Attune You. I created that brand because basically to attune means to bring balance and harmony. And when I was going through that hardship that I was, that's what I needed in my life, was balance and harmony. So when I came out the other side of it, I created Attune You, launched it, and I've just been working and grafting every single day to make it what it is now. We've got over 1,800 clients now in the platform with our fitness app. There's a one-to-one coaching business as well. So going back to your question there, I know I sort of went around about that. Typically, I'm in the office 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
16 hours a day. You'll see that in my stories. Yeah. I just work. I don't.
You were getting slaughtered for waking up early.
That's it, mate. But that at that time, when I started waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and everyone was like, "That's unhealthy" and whatever, and I'm like, you should have seen what I was doing at 3 o'clock in the morning, sniffing lines, drinking. And then I seen people talking about, I get up at 4 o'clock. And I went, you get up at 4 o'clock? I'm going to get up at fucking 3 o'clock. And I started committing to that, and I've done it for a full year, no matter what day, Saturday, Sunday. I woke up every single morning at 3 o'clock and just started working my fucking ass off to turn things around. And I was just driven at that point by massive pain. Yeah. That was what woke me up out of my bed every single day. I went from having close to $1 million in the bank to being £18,000 in debt. Yeah. I was in a bad place, man. Yeah. And this was even before Love Island. I was so successful. I was earning good money. I was doing well for myself. My life was great. It was on the upward path as such. And to then wake up one day, you're pretty much a drug addict and an alcoholic. And you see no way out. And obviously we can go into that in a little bit more detail. But yeah, there was one night where ultimately I ended up trying to take my own life. Overdosed on, it was these fucking sleeping tablets, but turned out they were for seizures. So I smashed a full packet of them. My ex-girlfriend at the time came back from she was back in the UK. So what she done was she went away on holiday. This was the Saturday night I'd done it. I was meant to be picking her up from the airport on the Monday. I was just passed out at that home from that Saturday night to the next day. She came in. She's like, obviously woke me up off the ground and was like, what the fuck, Anton? So that was a massive turning point in my life. And I never really spoke about it the last time around because it was too raw then. I hadn't dealt with everything at that point. But now I'll openly speak about it on my social media because I believe that I've got a massive platform, right? And anytime that I can speak about this at a point where in my life that I thought there was no way out, you've just got to keep believing that better days are coming. You've got to believe that you know, if you just don't give up, that's the only time you fail. The only time you fail is when you give up. And obviously I've come out the other side, and no matter what someone's going through that's listening to this, if you are going through the hardest time of your life, it will be part of the story that you tell one day. And I just always feel like it's important to get that message across.
No, it's obviously I'm really sorry to hear that you obviously went through that tough time and as well, but I know as well that it can be really, really hard to use your platform to share that information, because I remember when I was kind of struggling mentally as well, and then I put it out there, I was terrified because I didn't want people to look at me and think, oh my God, he's so weak, or what's he upset about, and all of these different things go through your head. But it's such a hard place to be so vulnerable at your hardest and lowest time in front of millions of people.
Yeah, absolutely. And not even that as well, mate. It's the case that you are going through that, and then you have to feel you have to be a different character on social media, right? You're trying to be that upbeat person or whatever everyone portrays you as, and then you keep losing yourself more and more trying to be someone that you're not.
Yeah, and was that kind of time then? Was this before All Stars that this is kind of happening?
So this was round about just before my 29th birthday. Obviously that must have been around about the summer. That's what's interesting, because I think we must have done our podcast around about the October, something like that. Something along
it was around about that.
So it was that summer, mate.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That just there, and obviously I've came on if you watch that podcast back, you wouldn't have known, right?
That's exactly what I was going to say, mate. You wouldn't be able to tell, but then that is the kind of thing that obviously everybody says. It's sometimes the people that you obviously least expect to. And even as well, like not to just touch on me, but when I was going through the kind of struggles and when I put it out there, so many people messaged me, like, not that they were happy to see me go through this, but they were happy to see me opening up, because they were looking at me like, I thought you've got it all figured out. You're down in Manchester with your missus and doing a job online, etc. But it's like, mate, it's just a big facade and sham that you show online.
Yeah, exactly. And you're very similar to me. Like, we just kind of, in a sense, blew up overnight, right, to a certain point, and you just get handed it, and then you're like, right, what do I actually do with this? And then you start, you post certain things. You don't really know what to post on your social media to start with. So then you start seeing things that actually people like. And then what people like isn't necessarily what you like. And then you end up just posting all this shit that isn't even you, and then before you know it, you turn around and you're not even you anymore, because you're trying to put on this character as such. So, I get it completely, mate, and it's good to talk about, because, like you said, if someone's listening to this, and some people, like you said, people like us, they'll probably go, they've got their shit together. I don't have our shit together.
Yeah.
I don't wake up every day and feel fucking amazing. No chance. But the thing is life's got its ups and downs, and genuinely, the hardest points in your life are the things that will change you and make you the person you are, so yeah.
And was a big part of that then, kind of not an identity shift, but it sounds like you obviously went from maybe Anton, the Love Islander that was just chasing fame and money and all these different things, but now it seems like you really are like Anton, the coach, the businessman, with the intentions of helping people. And the intention side of things, it's so important, because I've been working with my uncle, and he's like one of these kind of business coaches for the last 30, 40 years, and I've been helping him, he's been helping me with the seasoning side of things, and he's really good at grilling me and not just giving me a pat in the back all the time, more a kind of kick up in the arse. But what he was saying about the whole seasoning side of things is you can't go into it with the only intention of just money.
Yes.
You need to, have that intention of helping people or whatever it is that you were obviously put here for, because it makes your soul feel right, rather than if your only kind of goal and focus is just money and fame, etc. So
yeah, exactly that, right? Because ultimately, if you start a business and you think it's going to be easy, you are kidding yourself on, right? Any millionaire, any successful entrepreneur, if they had knew what they had to go through before they started their business, they probably wouldn't have started it.
Yeah.
Right? So the only thing that's going to get you through the hard days, when you're going months and months and months, if not years, without making any money from it, getting any attention from it, and putting all this effort into it, the only thing that can drive you through that is the passion for it. That is it. So I definitely believe that when you do something in your life, you have to be fully passionate about it. And the only thing I ever have been passionate about is genuinely helping people with their fitness journey, because I had that pain of going through that when I was younger, and I knew that I wanted to help at least one person not go through what I went through. And to this day, obviously, potentially even managed to help millions of people with my platform now with just posting content.
Yeah, and speak to us then more about the the obviously PT side of things a wee bit more in depth. So it's Attune You. Obviously, I love the name, by the way. It's cool. I didn't actually realise the meaning behind it. Yeah. You said you've got like 1,800 people on the platform now and all of this.
So basically just been grafting away at that for the last maybe 2 years now. Obviously, Attune You. The kind of way it blew up was when I ran my first 8-week challenge, and I basically built out a system that the 8 weeks is the foundation phase of the system, and then I take them through beyond that into an accelerate phase, then into a rebuild phase, etc. So they go through phases. And what's happened is when most people come through an 8-week challenge, obviously you have a big influx of people at that point, but then they stay on because they love it. They love the community. We do a community call on a Sunday night. They've got the personalised plans, the personalised training plan, personalised nutrition plan. But I believe people stay for that community aspect of it as well. So Attune You is doing great. I've got the one-to-one coaching business as well. I've got 2 coaches now working with me on that side of things, because ultimately with the one-to-one side, you can't scale it to the standard that I want to scale something without other people. Whereas with Attune You, obviously, with the plans, etc., that's all generated through AI.
Yep.
And that's just 100% transparency. But it uses my methodology. Within that, that's how I've created it. So, but the guys love their plans. It's personal to them. They're doing better than they were doing before. But why they stay is mainly for the community aspect. Whereas the one-to-one's a lot more in-depth coaching.
Sorry, see when you were saying one-to-one, are you actual like?
No, sorry, one-to-one online. So yeah, again, basically, I've built out a system in the way I coach people. I coach people through a 9-month program, and basically, it takes a human being at 9 months to be born, right? But you can rebuild your life and be reborn within 9 months. And my structure that I put in place, it's like a 7-step system that I've created through my 15 years of coaching to get that person to be fully get the results they deserve within that time frame, but ultimately be in a position to maintain it going forward and can make it a lifestyle at that point. So that's my reborn program that's part of my one-to-one. So the great thing is with the 2 coaches that I've actually got, they too were clients to start with. And the reason it worked so well is because they've came through their transformation. They know my systems inside out. They know how I coach because they were coached by me for like 2 years. They've got unbelievable results themselves, and they fell in love with fitness along that journey as well. And they've done their fitness qualifications, and now they help coach me. So I just love that system. And then just touching on that side of things as well, obviously with the platforms, over the years I've used several different platforms, probably like yourself, for coaching, Macroactive, Linus, etc. And yeah, I wanted to just build out my own this year. So done that, made it to a level that is better than anything out there. And what really, really irritates me in the fitness industry is people gain a following as such, and sorry if this was you, but I think you did do your PT qualifications, etc.
I did. I'll put it out there.
But people gain a following, right? And they've got a good body, and then they just think they can coach people.
Mate, right? This is on my notes,
right? I've got fucking good hair. Doesn't mean I can cut your fucking hair.
Doesn't
mean I'm a barber, right? So for so long I was like angry about it, annoyed about it, but it's happening. Yeah, it's happening. We can't change it. Me being angry about it's not going to solve the problem. But what I can do is I can get their audience to come onto my platform as if it was their platform. So what I do now is actually with influencers, micro influencers, big influencers, we build out their full platform for them, their coaching app. But everyone that comes through that coaching app is running through my coaching system that I've developed across 15 years. So I'm basically using the attention that person's got and driving them into an actual good program that's actually going to help someone. So yeah, that business is very, very young now. We started that in February, but it's going great. It's going really, really good, and I'm so passionate about it because my goal has always been to help as many people as possible live a healthier, happier life. This way, I can potentially help millions, even if people don't even know they're coming onto my program.
Yeah.
That's just an ego thing, right? Yeah. That doesn't matter because I know they're getting looked after and ultimately they're changing their life. So Sync Me is our sort of agency or software company as well. So yeah, it's
cool,
it's going
man.
Good, mate.
Cool. And obviously you kind of touched on it there, but one of the questions was like, what do you make of the state of the industry? Because compared to obviously, so I came into it about 6 years ago or so, whenever it was now, and there wasn't many people doing it. Like there obviously was PTs and coaches, whereas see now, it is so saturated, but it's saturated with people, and I don't think a lot of people actually know this, that have no qualifications whatsoever. Like you said, they get into fitness, they get into a wee bit of good shape, they'll maybe post about it online, and then just instantly brandish yourself as like an online coach. But to me, it doesn't sit right with me in the sense, I just think there's got to be more regulations in the industry, because see the amount of creeps that I know that are now online coaches and stuff, and it gives me the shivers thinking about what they're doing, and I don't know, I just think there's got to be more rules or something.
Well, mate, back in the day when I did my PT qualifications, I did mine at 17, we went on something like a 6 months course. We had to do like a theory one, a practical one, that was level 2. Then you had to do level 3 as well to be an actual personal trainer. And then now, like you said, people are just literally gaining a following first and then thinking, how can I make money? Because I've got a good body. They're not passionate about it. They don't care about helping people. And the worst people are the Love Islanders. They come off the show, they launch a fitness program, and I'm not going to even mention the person because
Name them.
No, I can't, because
Okay.
I actually love that person, to be fair. It's one of the very few that I love. But they launched this platform. I'm watching it from the outside in, and I'm just like, what do you know about that? But within a year, they're not doing it.
Yeah.
Every single time.
It's just a quick buck, isn't it?
Well, yeah, or they just don't care enough about it, right? So yeah, it's hard to watch. But like I said, I've watched that for so long and got frustrated about it. But I was like, well, why don't I do something about it? And that's why now I've built out Sync Me.
Yeah, and did you find a kind of hard transition to do all the kind of PT side of things after the back of Love Island? Because I take it, obviously, that a lot of your followers will be people following because you were on Love Island. Is that correct, obviously, saying that?
Yeah, it was a really difficult transition, because everyone always says, no, it'll be easy for you because you've got 1 million followers. Like, obviously, you're going to get clients. Not really, because you get painted under the same brush as the other Love Islanders. You're just genuinely another Love Islander that's launched a fitness plan. Not a 15-year-old... I'm not 15. not a coach that's been in the fitness industry for 15 years, got 42 qualifications, lives and breathes it, and genuinely cares about their clients.
Yeah, you can see the difference in it. And obviously, I remember when you came on the pod originally, like, mate, you've been doing this for ages through the kids' fitness camps and building it up through that. And remember the fitness DVDs and all that side of things as well. So.
Mate, exactly. And that was the whole reason I done Love Island in the first place, was I did not do it for love, just so you guys know. I did not do it for
anybody does do it.
They approached me, it was a good opportunity. I knew I was going to get a big platform off the back of it if I'd done well, and I wanted to utilise that platform, but I just never anticipated the madness that would come after it, and then I just forgot about that goal for a couple of years, and getting back to it's been the most... It's saved me. It's literally saved me, getting back to doing what I love. So,
no, it's cool to see you doing what you're proper passionate about, and I said to you off camera, but you can see that it shines through obviously as well, mate, so it's cool to see.
Mate, I'm fucking crying at my client transformations. I don't know what's up, mate, not in my older age. Honestly, I sit in a community call and a client comes on and they're like, I've lost 10 kilos since working with you, you've changed my life, and I'm like...
You're bubbling in that.
Mate.
But again, it genuinely does show how much you're passionate about it and how much you care about helping people, and it's been really cool to see, like, you do like the kind of client photo shoots and you'll take them out on a big day and reward them for it and stuff as well. So, mate, you're just clearly passionate about it, so it's cool to see,
and
man.
I think for a long time, like you said about the transition, I think it was hard to... I mean, when we came off Love Island and, people that were around about that time, season 5 was massive. We were, and I say this all the time, and I don't care what people say in return to it, we were probably one of the most famous people in the country at that point when we came off that show.
It's the biggest season in Love Island by far, man. There's no debate.
It was, mate, I was turning on Christmas lights, everything. Like, it was seriously felt like massive fame. So from that to then go back into, like, just coaching online, you did almost feel too good for it, if I'm honest, at that time. But that was obviously just an immature mindset. I almost thought, what am I doing back here? But the goal always was to be back there helping more people. Yep. I just forgot that.
Yeah, and that was obviously after the kind of first season. So let's do it in order then, because I was going to ask you about All Stars first, but let's do it then after the first season, and let's even just go back round about the time of the podcast. So you were obviously really struggling over that summer, and what was it necessarily down to, if you can pinpoint it? Was it the after effects of the first season of Love Island, like forgetting who you were and all that side of things?
It goes right back to really the leaving the show just before the final. I was so caught up in my head that season that I deserved to be in the final. I don't know where the fuck I got this from. And then I was like, it's shit, because it was Tommy Fury and it was Curtis, and they two were guaranteed to get to the final, and it just isn't fair. Like, because when you watch, it's funny though, when you watch it back, there was times that Curtis was protected, right? Like, it was just one recoupling before the fucking, one vote out before the final. Pretty much before, and they were just immune because his partner was new. Wait, what? Wait, what?
Mate, that guy's got something on ITV. He's been in Love Island about 8 times now or something,
I was like, what? So, I mean, look, at the end of the day, right, Love Island's a business, and I realise that now that I'm older, but for so long I was like, that's not fair, and I should have been there, and I was... No, Anton, like, at the end of the day, you're a guy from Scotland, you were the first Scottish guy there, you've got to, just before the final, the first time you've done really well. So I had this sort of chip on my shoulder from even coming off the show. Then I go out to all these PAs, do 86 personal appearances, people are screaming my name, I'm drinking, I'm not so much into the drug scene at that point, I'd never really touched anything at that point. And yeah, then I'm just like, right, okay, this is great, I'm the fucking boy, like, just thinking I'm the man. Then obviously the next year COVID comes around, and then everything just crashes, all the brand deals, everything just disappear. So now we're all going through COVID, and I know everyone went through a hard time through COVID. There's no difference to me or what, but you've just went from the highest year of your life to then this low point. Then you come a year later, I moved to Dubai, I open a gym, invest £100,000 into this gym, it goes completely tits up, so I've lost that. It just felt like everything at that moment in my life I was touching was going wrong. And yeah, then I just got in my own head. I was just like, what's the point? Never going to feel a high like that again. And the only way to mask a high like the high of coming off a show like Love Island is drugs.
And that's interesting what you said there then. So you didn't really touch anything growing up or when you were younger?
I didn't drink. I didn't drink before Love Island. I didn't take drugs. Well, when I say I didn't drink, I would have a drink on a lad's holiday once a year, right? Aye. I didn't drink. I think my first drink was at 19, right? Okay, and then I genuinely would only drink once a year. I was building my business. I was never interested in it. Then went on Love Island, got into that scene a little bit. But the drugs thing kind of came about. I think I was just... and again, something I was terrified... I remember the first post I'd done about this. I was terrified, but I was like, Anton, you can't just come back and kid on it's okay. It's not okay, mate. Like, you were just on the floor, tried to overdose. You can't just come back and just accept that that's okay. So, I think just at that point, I was in Dubai, moved away from there, ended up moving to Marbella because I had to get out, got into a bad crowd over there, drugs, partying 5, 6, sometimes 7 times a week, and just ended up in this place. And then when I was starting to have the come downs, rather than avoiding the come down and facing my reality, I would just take more drugs. And then you're in a position, well, what's funding this fucking lifestyle now? All of a sudden, you're going out sometimes in Marbella and dropping $5,000 on a fucking table. You're buying drugs. You're living a lifestyle that there's only so much money that when you're not earning at the other side, and it's going to run out eventually, right? And just got into a really bad position with it. And then the overdose was obviously the turning point in my life. And then I just was like, nah, I need to get back to the UK. I went back to stay with my mum.
Yeah.
It was nothing to do with, well, probably a bit financially at that point as well, to be honest. I just needed to be home.
You just need your mum?
I just need my mum.
Yeah. No, I know how that feels. I know how that feels at times.
Just no matter what age you are. I was 29. I was so successful, so young in my life. Then Love Island, I went to the stratosphere. And I looked at myself in the mirror at 29 years old and thought, what have I done in my life?
Yeah.
But I just was like, right, just do what you've done before, just get back to doing what you do. And I did, mate. And to be honest, like I done it from a different standpoint. It was never about money the second time round. And then, like I said, Love Island then come chapping on the door again.
And see, just to ask you a couple of questions about the kind of drug side of things, though, I take it as like recreational, the likes of when you're out partying, gear, Mandy, ecstasy, Ket.
Yeah, everything pink, obviously Coke was a big one. Just getting coked out my head, but you realise it's a problem when you're sitting doing it yourself.
Yeah.
That's when it's a problem.
I think it's such a big problem. It's probably good that we're actually kind of talking about this, but see in Scotland, especially, and I know it's bad all over the UK, but like, I don't think people realise how easy it is to access them, for how young of an age you can access them from as well. Yeah. And it's so normalised as if it's just a normal thing to go out and get fully and stuff. And obviously I've never really spoke about this, but probably like the only reason I've probably not spoke about it is just in the fear that my mum and dad hear it. But listen, they're not daft. They obviously know that I was a dafty growing up as well, but like I grew up for a young age taking everything, and I know that it's obviously affected me mentally kind of a bit later down in life, but in a weird way I also don't regret going through all those phases, because see now, mate, I would never touch anything, mate, and I haven't for years and years, and I wouldn't, and I now know that I just wouldn't go down that kind of path again. But see, just being exposed to it for such a young age, like mate, 15, 16 years old, being around all that, but it's such a big problem all over Scotland, but it's so normalised.
I think it is just so normalised, especially in the party lifestyle. It just is, right? It's just one of the things. But the interesting thing was, I was always the one that was never interested in it. So, like, I remember back in the day, I used to be out with my mates, we'd go back to his, I'd go to my bed, I'd wake back up for work the next day because I'd be teaching a spin class or something, and they'd be sitting up sniffing, and I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I just didn't get it, never. And then it's funny because like that was obviously between like, maybe like 18 to 24. And then they're all now 24. They've got girlfriends or settling down. They're not going out drinking. Then I'm coming in, turning into a cokehead, and I'm out drinking, partying, living this crazy lifestyle. And I just got so caught up in it for so many years. But yeah, mate, like I said, it's part of the story, and I just thought that I think everyone goes through some sort of hardship in life. Of course they do. I just done mine at a weird stage. I went through the partying and drug lifestyle a lot older, but it's obviously a byproduct of the lifestyle that came after Love Island.
Yeah. No, well, thanks for obviously sharing that, bro.
Yeah,
no, it's obviously tough.
I think it's important, and I always say now, whereas in the past I think I would have said it's because of Love Island. It's not because of Love Island. Love Island's a business. Love Island aren't meant to give a shit about us after it. They produce us, they don't promise anything beyond the show, and then we just have to figure it out on our own. That's not their fault, right? And for years I blamed them. It's us not knowing how to handle that in the back end, and that's all it was. And I now can hold full accountability as a man, as a man that's went through his own healing process, that was on me. No one shoved lines up my nose, no one shoved alcohol in my hand. That was on me. I made every single decision during that period, and for so long I just never held my hands up and held accountability for it.
No, it's a mature thing to say, obviously holding your hands up and taking responsibility, but I suppose then maybe for like somebody that's obviously not been in Love Island to the public to watch it, I think the big thing that comes about all the time is there enough support coming off the back of a show like that,
How do you support it though?
I know.
How do you support that? Like, it's do you know what? Even coming off the second time, it was funny because I think, how do you say this without being a dick? I'm just going to say it.
Just say it, man, who cares?
I think probably I was the one that went through the whole season. I was probably the biggest character on there I'd done season 5, right? Chris had obviously done season 5 as well, but on a smaller scale, right? We done season 5 probably.
Yeah, he came in a bit later,
didn't he?
Yeah.
I don't think he was as big at that point, whatever. So when we came off the second time, I remember everyone going, oh my God. I'm like, this is nothing. This is genuinely nothing compared to what it was like when we done it. Like I said, I remember that first Nando's back. We had to have 2 security guys with us, me and Jordan. Black Rooster, yes. Shit. I don't think Black Rooster was a thing then. But yeah, it was KFC.
Don't talk about the trailers.
Don't talk about any chicken. But yeah, mate, it was just a mad time. And now I look back on it with fond memories, whereas for so long I look back on it with a very negative approach, because I just feel like they done that to me. And then the day that I learned to take full accountability myself was the day I kind of released it almost.
Yeah. So going into the actual series of All Stars, was it a lot different?
Yeah,
it was completely different. Yeah. Was it the first season of All Stars you went on? It was, wasn't it?
I mean, how can you do more seasons of All Stars? The way they pitched it to us was, we're bringing back the best of the best.
Yeah,
I was like, all right. I was like, this sounds good, and I felt really honoured in a little way. And then obviously they've done 3 seasons. It's now become All That's Left, not All Stars. Do you know what I mean?
All That's Left. That's a better man. It actually is, but because like us as the public are kind of realising it, mate. Like I'm watching it and I'm like, not to be disrespectful, because people won't know who I am, but like I don't know half the people that are on it, but they're apparently all stars in that.
Where are your all-star?
I know, I know. It's a mad.
The way I see an all-star is you would probably look back on any of the seasons and there's like a memorable, you would go, oh fucking, I remember a moment from that person. I remember that person, you know. Mate, like I can sit here and be as I can try and play it down, but I had the moments in Love Island, right? And I'm proud that I had the moments in Love Island for Scotland, because I was the first Scottish lad ever on the show. And after the season we done it, is it any coincidence that then 2 Scottish lads went in the next year, and then more the next year? They started then actually doing casting in Scotland. So, like, I like to think in a way for the Love Island scene, I opened up the gateway a little bit. And funnily enough, Dale, that went on it a few years back, he said that to me. He was like, thanks, mate, you genuinely opened that for us. And that's it. So, yeah, All Stars has become a little bit of a... It's just became a little bit like, what the fuck? I don't watch it. I've not watched it since really my season of 5, to be fair. So yeah, but probably just age I'm at as well.
No, that's all good, man. And see, this is just away from All Stars, but it just came into my head, right? And I need to ask you about this. It's one of my favourite ever moments in Love Island ever, right? Season 5, right?
There's going to be 1 or 2.
Okay.
It's either that
you're not involved in it, to be fair, but you were in it, like howling. So basically, I need to ask you about the time where Tom was about to go into the hideaway with Maura Higgins, right? He then says the comment, obviously, let's see if she's all mouth. She's standing right there, right? But see the reaction. See, I think it's your actual, like, running to Tommy's arms almost.
Tommy was leaning on my shoulder.
And you're all just like, oh my God, bro, tell me what that was like, man.
Oh my God. It was. I think that's the most I've ever laughed in my life.
How can you fuck it with Maura Higgins that bad, man?
Do you know what it was? Tom is genuinely one of the nicest lads I've ever met in my life, right? And he's just quiet. He's like one of the quiet lads that's just nice. And in that moment, he was just genuinely playing up to the voice.
That's what I was just... Yeah, that's what I was going to say, yep.
But he was speaking to her, and then he turned round and then said that to, like, how could she not have heard that? And I promise you, the Love Island villa is not as big as it looks like on TV.
Aye, so it maybe looked in camera that she was missions away, but she was literally...
She was there. And because I kind of got on with everyone in the villa, but I pretty much get on with everyone, and Tom felt that I was the person to talk to about this.
You're inside trying not to piss yourself.
And yeah, mate, it was just the funniest thing. And it's interesting though, because you think about like moments like that, and I deeped this quite a lot when I was actually in Love Island. There's certain moments in your life where it can drastically change the trajectory of where you're going. And in that moment, Tom fucked a lot, because Maura's obviously a big superstar.
Oh, she's massive.
They could have been together. His life could have been different. I think about other moments where a certain person could, like, I could have went home week 1. How different would my life have been, right? I sometimes wonder if it would have been better. Sometimes, but it would have been completely different if I'd went home week 1. So there's certain moments in your life that can actually just change the path that you go on.
It's crazy you say that, bro. I'm such a deep thinker like that, and I always think that something so small, a small wee action, but it seems can genuinely completely change the whole trajectory of your life. It's mad. I always think like that. Like, if he didn't do that, he would have went into the hideaway. He might have went on with Mother. They could have won. Like, it's crazy, mate. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Not just in that situation, but just in any situation.
Any situation. I used to. It was funny because everyone used to say, Anton, why'd you take like when we were voting for people to go home so serious? And I was like, because I used to deep that. Like, I was like, this is affecting their life in a bigger way than you think.
Yeah, that's.
I used to really deep it.
It must be a lot of pressure, obviously, having to stand up and do that.
Yeah, it is, unless you just didn't like someone.
Just fuck off, man. I love it, man. I love it. So you mentioned earlier on the pod when we were talking as well that when you went back into All Stars, you felt like you almost had to do that to maybe
I think
tie up some loose ends. Or...
Yeah. So interestingly enough, so we're I've kind of just got back from Scotland, and I'm just starting to get right back on the path. I'm like starting to create my online fitness business again. I'm, waking up from my work. I'm just really passionate about what I'm doing. I'm feeling happy again for the first time in like 5 years. I'm feeling good. And I remember I was in the barber's actually, and I get a phone call. And it was one of the people that looked after us in the villa a few years back. And it's funny because this producer in particular, her name's Coco. She was like our villa producer at the time, but over the years she was now one of like the main producers.
I think I've heard her.
Yeah, Coco, she was class. And she used to call everyone Darling Heart, right? That's what she'd call them, right? Darling Heart. But because I was Scottish, she always called me Braveheart, right?
Okay.
So I picked up the phone and she went, Braveheart. And I went, I think I know what this is. And she went, look, what's your relationship status just now? Blah, blah. I was like, look, I'm single, blah, 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 whatever. And yeah, she was like, look, we're going to run a season of All-Stars. You know how much we love you. The producers love you. We're loved. Would you be interested in doing that? And I went, oh, Coco, I genuinely don't know. And she's like, well, look, think about it and whatever. So I came off the phone and I deeped it and I thought about it and I was like, maybe I just need to do this just to prove to myself that I have actually changed and I'm not just masking that I've changed. And I always feel that I look back in my life and going, if I'd done this and if I'd done that, then this wouldn't have happened. That was my constant thoughts. I should have came off the show and stuck in my path. I shouldn't have done that. I was living in the past. And I thought, well, the only way to get over it is to do it again, right? So yeah, took the opportunity and I was like, right, I'm going to do everything right this time. I'm going to stay true to me. I'm going to be myself. I'm not going to play up to any cameras. I'm just going to be me. You like me, you hate me. I'm going to come off the show and I'm going to get my ass back to what I'm doing. And yeah, came off the show. Obviously got to the final, which was amazing because that was the part that was missing for me because I was the only person that done more days than me in the villa that year was Amber.
Okay.
Then she won the show. Right, so I'd done from the very first day to the very last day, the day before the final, which is the second last day.
And
so
she won it with Greg, who was in there for about 2 days.
I know.
That's mad, isn't it?
And like it was just like it was just like one of the things where I was like, it would have been nice to have got the whole Love Island experience. So I got that the second time, which was really nice. And obviously the way I came off the show though, this time I thought I was loved the first time, but this time was different, man. It was real different. And it felt nicer because it was just, I was me the first time, but I was just younger. I was, like you said, Banton, I was the class clown. Whereas this time I felt like the dad of the group, you know. I felt like everyone had said how much I'd matured. Little did they know what I'd went through in my life to get to that stage.
Yep.
So yeah, mate, it was good, but the experience on the show this time, I know you're probably going to touch on that, but it was funny. We got up probably about 2 weeks in. I'm like, I want to leave. Producers take me out, have a meeting with the psych, convince me not to leave. I tried to leave 5 times that year, but they wouldn't let me leave. And then it just happened after the Mitch fight. I went, this is just not for me. Like, I'm just not here. Producers pulled me aside and went, Anton, we shouldn't be telling you this, but you are fucking loved. You need to stick this in. This is why you went through, because they knew all about my hardships. Because they're very good with the psychology of things.
Being clever about it.
Because you're stuck in a villa, you're stuck in an environment where you don't know the time, you're only talking to the people within the villa, you've got no context of everything. You're in this sort of it's like a psychological game that you're in. You know, it really is. So they speak to you in a way that, they're like, yeah, you're loved, like everything that you went through over the last few years, it's all for this. Do you think you were loved the first time? You should see yourself this time. The UK is going off for you.
So it's wee points.
You're trending number 1 in Twitter right now, which I was at that time after the Mitch argument. And then you're like, oh yeah, I've got to see it out, you know? So then, yeah, obviously seen it out. Didn't really enjoy anything about the experience. But when I came off to see the love, it was worth it. So. And
obviously during that season, then it was Georgia that you were with for the majority of the time. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was hard work.
Okay.
That was hard work.
It's because it was, from just memory, it seemed to be a wee bit up and down, wasn't it?
She just look. Georgia knew Casey was going in. Ultimately, she thought when he came back in that they were going to get back together. Then when they never got back together, I think like I was the only option left. I never really connected with anyone in there. Me and Georgia did get on really, really well as friends. But yeah, it was just mate. She was just not in it. There's the bottom line, and I think that she was just seeing it out. And then straight after the final, you know, even on the final, I think she started arguing with me when we were doing our live interview. Then after the final, I've never spoke about this in camera, but I don't give a shit now. But basically, yeah, after the final, she went on this mad rampage. They had to separate her from the group. She was like going mental and everything. So that was a bit of a red flag. And then when we went back home, we spoke about it, and then we were together for a few months. But it was never really going to work, was it? It was never really going to work. But yeah, look, wish the girl all the best.
No, it's all good, man.
Yeah, it just I never. The thing is, with Love Island, I don't think I ever had that connection with someone that Love Island should have been about. But maybe because I never ever went in for that intention, I was never given that, right? So you get what you ask for.
Yeah, no, I get that, man. And obviously, I don't think Casey would have been too happy with Georgia, obviously, with the whole granddad part on that as well. Remember that? I don't know if you've seen that, obviously, as well, because you were on the show.
The whole thing about that as well. But yeah, like I said, with all due respect to people, there's a few of them that I genuinely love, but Love Islanders, reality stars, influence in general just aren't my type of people. And look, I'm probably not their type of person either, you know. It's just not they live in a different world from the real life. So yeah, I just keep myself to myself. You know, people like Tom actually was just phoning. I just phoned him before I came here. He was phoning me back. Tom Molly, very close to Hannah as well. But other than that,
Hannah's so sound, man.
Yeah,
I love her, man.
She's class,
I loved her on the seasons.
Mate, like I just remember sitting in the room and the stuff they're talking about, and I'm just like, I want to talk about building a fucking funnel.
Aye. Just like not on the same wavelength, kind of different stages in
life. And I think that was obvious in the show. Just everyone did say it just seems like Anton's just so much more mature than these people, and that's genuinely what it felt like.
Everybody was saying it, mate. The support you were getting was crazy, man. It was good to see, because obviously, like, I then knew you when you went on to All Stars, and it was a bit nerve wracking watching you, just in case obviously something went wrong or whatever. But bro, the love you were getting was crazy, man.
Yeah, and I think that one thing that's important for people to know, you should rather be liked for you should rather be hated for being yourself than liked for being someone you're not. And I think too many people try to like put this mask on, and I did for years as well, and it just comes with age, and I've learned so much over the years. And everyone was saying about how much a good guy Anton is and that, and I was like, yeah, I am now, but I had to go through a lot to get there. So yeah, it's been a journey, mate.
Yeah, and on that topic as well about, you know, coming out and maybe receiving like backlash and abuse and stuff, one of your other exes that was on Love Island was Belle, and that was from the original season. Yeah, I know obviously you said that you didn't watch too much of All Stars, but did you see anything of the most recent season? Because it was explosive, man.
Yeah, so I don't watch it, like I said, but how can you not know Love Island's on when it's on, right? It's just one of the things. So I seen a lot, and I was thinking, man, that's shit. Because Belle, truthfully, is one of the most genuine, loyal people I've ever met in my life. Like, that girl is genuinely a superstar. And funnily enough, after the show, I dropped her a little text just to say, look, I hope you're okay. I'm always here if you need to talk. Because me and Belle have always been on good terms. And she phoned me, and she was like, they've shown half the story, which they often do. They put her in a room and were like, are you going to let her speak to you like that? And, you know, there's so much that goes on that the audience don't see. And I honestly urge anyone that watches any form of reality TV, understand that you are watching 1 hour or a 30-minute cut of something that can be potentially painted one-sided. And yeah, it's a shame, because Belle's went through, she spoke about it a lot, she's went through her own mental health issues. She's at points tried to take her own life. And to see her go through that and knowing how that would affect her mentally was quite hard to watch from the outside. But look, she's a strong girl, she's a good person, and yeah, I think people just need to learn to be kinder online, because they don't know what it's doing to people. I know I've went through my shit online as well. It's hard, and you yourself, you've went through your own shit, and when people are constantly, when you're at your lowest point in your life and you feel like a million people are like at you, it's hard.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to ask you about it, and not to be like kind of gossipy or anything, but I probably fell into the trap of watching the most recent season of All Stars and kind of looking at Belle a wee bit and thinking, you need to kind of calm down a wee bit, or you look too aggressive. Yeah. Or it did look at times a bit bullyish, and I know that word obviously gets thrown about as well, but that's why I kind of wanted to ask you about it, because it's then that reminder to be like, no, you actually know who she is as a girl and a person, but to us, the public, we're just watching whatever way they edit it and whatever storyline they want to show and throw about. But it's important to say that, obviously, because see the abuse she gets now off the back of it. And I've watched her in a couple of podcasts, and I feel really sorry for her, because I think she's trying to put on this kind of bravado, like she doesn't care, and she's, you know, kind of leaning a wee bit more into that Hurricane Belle side of things. But I just look at her and I think,
Belle's a sweetheart. Like, she's got the best way I can describe Belle's like an avocado, right? She's hard on the outside, but she's soft as shit on the inside, and she's genuinely a good person. And she does put on this persona, but that's just to protect herself. Yeah, it makes me feel like a certain type of way speaking about this work, because I know how much it would actually like affect her. But yeah, people just need to. I'm not even going to waste my breath. People need to be kinder. They're never going to be. But the way that people need to, you know, people like Bella said this to her, says, look, like, these people are irrelevant to you. If they're not going to speak at your funeral, don't give a shit what they're going to say about you when they're alive.
Yeah, that's the important thing. It's about getting across to people, like, yous are real people. Like, you are Anton, you're sitting in front of me. I can reach over and touch you. I'm not going to obviously in that as well. Just a little one. I'll buy you dinner first and then we'll get to it later on that one. But like, yous are genuine, real people. And do you know what? I look at some of the comments online, and even, for example, with the whole Belle situation and people in All-Stars and stuff, some of the stuff that I'm reading for people that are so invested in people that they're watching for an hour on the TV every night, and I'm just thinking in my head, like, if you not get your own life to focus on and concentrate on, rather than wasting so much time and energy and getting so much anger and hatred built up in you over a fucking TV show.
Mad, isn't it?
It's mental, mate.
I mean, could you actually imagine being one of the people where you're just genuinely sitting there waiting for your OnlyFans subscription girls to come online and you're just like, fucking dickhead, I fucking hate you. But like, what is that?
I know.
Like, successful people never ever bring others down. They're too busy being fucking successful.
Yeah.
And that's what I always tell myself when I get, look, I've had a negative comment every single day for the last 7 years without fail. Literally, pretty much every single day. And it's just became a part of my life, and it's just background noise to me, mate. So I'm strong in the mind with that sort of stuff. And I think when you go through something that I've went through, nothing actually really matters. Like, I was on the floor trying to pick myself up from an overdose, and to pull myself off that ground was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, to want to go on. And a negative comment now, I'm just like, oh, whatever, it's not that deep.
Who cares? Yeah. And it's because you're so secure in yourself and you know exactly what it is that you're setting out to do, that, you don't need to bother about irrelevant people, mate. It's exactly what you said.
Genuinely doesn't even affect me now.
No, that's good, mate. That's good. I want to ask you a question. Those clumped up seasoning jars that have been lying in your cupboard for the past 10 years, have you actually ever checked the ingredients in the back of them? See, a lot of these seasonings contain really nasty additives, natural flavourings that are actually made in a lab somewhere and filled with E-numbers and anti-caking agents. Scran Seasonings is an 100% pure blend of only spices, so you won't find any nasty ingredients or additives in them. And you'll never need to worry about Scran Seasonings clumping up, because it tastes that good. They're not even going to be lying in your cupboard for that long. Whether you're making air-fried chips, a midweek pasta, or even taking an 80p pack of noodles and turning them into a £15 tasting takeaway, one shake and you're absolutely sorted. The Scran Seasoning jars are designed to be 2 to 3 times bigger than other competitors. The lid is also nice and wide, so you can actually measure the seasonings out exactly. So if you're looking for seasonings, it's all killer and no filler. Head over to scranseasonings.com to secure yours today. And I'll ask you about another ex-Islander. So it was a bit a story that happened, obviously. So for anybody that doesn't know, Biggs was on my podcast a week or two ago. And basically he was sitting in the exact same chair, and just for everybody to know, by the way, I'm actually get the worst hearing problem ever, right? So I'm deaf basically in my right ear, so I'm meant to have hearing aids, etc. Probably not the best gig to be at. Your job is to listen. I'm interviewing people and they're just saying something completely different and I'm just like, yeah, that sounds class. But basically Biggs was on and he said the words, my ex-best mate Anton, right? So when I heard him, I thought he said my ex's best mate Anton, right? So then you can see my reaction after he says that. I don't prod him or ask him anything. I'm just like, oh, I know Anton, he was on the podcast and stuff, blah. And then it was after the show he then said to me, oh, I take it you didn't hear what I said about the Anton side of things. I was like, no. And then he then explained that he said my ex-best mate and he just fell out, and he didn't say much else about that. Then last week I got a message from Biggs saying, like, what the fuck or something, and the Sun had wrote an article of when he came on the podcast. By the way, completely bumped all my stuff, which definitely I don't think they're allowed to do. I think there's got to be some sort of payment involved, but a wee takedown is coming for you. But
mate, it's extra publicity.
I know. But it was
mate, I was on the papers for the first time in years.
Keep writing on the Sun, but pay me. But no, so the Sun wrote an article, and it was the most bullshit clickbait, jargon-filled headline ever about ex-feuds between two best mates and ex-Islanders. It was literally a 10-second clip of him saying my ex, and then I didn't even question him on it, and this article came out. So then I messaged you, right, because I didn't want you... I just didn't want you thinking that, one, I'd either got in touch with them, or two, I was trying to do anything sort of sneaky, or three, I was prodding him about questions about your beef or anything. But yeah, like, I suppose...
What happened?
I suppose I've got a platform now for you to reply to it.
Yeah. I mean, like, this is something I've actually just avoided this for years and years, this kind of question, because, I mean, well, I'll be honest, again, I've matured a lot over the years, and to be honest, I just didn't even want to give him the attention from it, but... I've obviously matured a lot, like I said, and I think it's important to kind of express what's going on, because now that I'm older, actually, funnily enough, he was behind me a few months back, and I actually waved out the back window, something I wouldn't have done in the past. And it's not that deep what actually happened, but yeah, like Big says, we were best mates. We were
before Love Island.
Before I did Love Island, we were very, very close. We went to Ibiza together. We met on a modelling shoot. We went to Ibiza together. We'd be together every weekend. We're close. Like, it's not like just a loose term. So when I was going through my Love Island audition process, from the very first video that was sent, I told him about it. We spoke about it. I'd phone him up when I was going to my casting interviews, walked him through every single stage about it. He knew I was going on it. We went out the weekend before I went on, stuff like that. Then obviously we went on, came off, first people I see is my boys. I take them to Ibiza. Biggs was there with us. We're with Wayne Lineker. We're living I'm on Craig's stage with Craig David. Fucking mate.
Love him.
Mate, that was another experience. So I mean, I took the boys through everything with me, and Biggs in particular, and we were honestly living the dream at that point. And he came on my PA tour with me as well. He came to a few of my gigs on the PA tour. So that's all good and well, and then just all of a sudden he says he's going to his grand's funeral or something, or his friend's funeral, something like that, and then he ends up in Love Island, just out the blue. Never told any of us about the process, just never spoke about it. So there was just something in me that thought that it was just very sneaky. Like, why? Like, you might be my best mate. Like, we spoke about this. If anything, I would have, like, supported you. You know me as a person. Like, I love to see others succeed, because their success does not affect my success. I want us all to be winning. I want us all to be feasting at the table, not just me. Like, fucking great. But you're my best mate, and you've not even told me you're going on Love Island, the show that I was on. And then I found out, like, he was trying to contact my management and all that stuff as well. It just seemed all very sneaky. And just at that point, I just was like, well, I just cut ties, and we never ever spoke since. So that's...
And what, did you, like, block each other or anything? Or
I think I blocked him at one point.
Right, okay.
Getting a bit immature. I think I blocked him. But again, like I said now, if Biggs is watching this, I hope you are watching this, buddy, to be fair. Like, there's no bad blood. It was just in that moment, I just felt that it was a sneaky thing. And like I said, I went through all mo and shit over the last few years anyway, so that's not even a concern. And if you ever want to reach out, I'm here, because we were close. We're very good friends.
Well, I was going to say that then, from somebody observing from, like, an external standpoint, and obviously I know both of you and stuff now, but if I'm being honest with you, I'm like, is life not just now too short? Like, if yous were such good friends like that, is it not now that years and years have went past and stuff, like, could there be a chance to reconcile?
Yeah, I mean, I'd definitely be open to it. Listen, like, I'm not holding any bad blood, but that was just how I felt in that moment. Mm-hmm. And I was probably going through more shit in my head at that point as well. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I just like I just felt like I've taken you on every step of this journey with me, and why would you not share that with me? Especially your friend that's done well on the show, that could probably help you. Probably help him do better. He couldn't have done any more. He was on for about 2 minutes.
Yeah,
but do you know what I mean?
I didn't even know that. I didn't know that.
Fucking blink and you miss him.
I know, because when he came on, mate, I actually thought he was on it for ages, but it was just Casa Amor and stuff. I didn't even realise that.
I think I had one scene in the full thing.
Yeah.
Like, it just was all very strange. That's all. They were at my mum and dad's house for the first episode when I was in Love Island.
Right,
like
okay.
That's the level of closeness we're talking here.
So you just felt a wee bit hurt. Obviously, he'd been with you every step of the way through your Love Island journey, so you just felt a bit hurt then why he didn't reciprocate that, obviously, in the lead up to it.
Reciprocate it. Say that you're going away for a funeral, out of all things.
Okay.
I'm just a bit like, what?
And then he's on shorts in the TV and that, he's in Casa Amor and stuff.
It was just very strange, mate.
Okay.
And then when I found out that he'd been speaking to my management in the background and stuff, I thought, this is quite sneaky. I just felt sneaky. That's the only way I can describe the feeling at that time. Mm-hmm. Whereas now, like you said, life's too short. It's not genuinely that deep. But I always felt like it was portrayed that, I went on and done Love Island and Anton just stopped talking to me because he didn't want me to do well. No, I love you. I think you know what I'm like. How many times have we had conversations?
Yeah.
First time you met me in the gym, can I do a video with you?
Yep.
I didn't know you, did I? And I was like, yeah, bro, anything to do help. If you ever need to chat about the coaching side of things, let me know. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, even obviously then the first podcast, like I'd literally just started it. I messaged you right away. You were game. You collabed on everything. It really helped me out as well. So
that's the type of guy I am. I love to see people succeed. I've not got a jealous bone in my body. And if people have watched me in Love Island, they know that. I don't need to sit here and prove myself. So yeah, it was always just portrayed like that. But at that time, I was just thought, I'm not going to give you the 5 minutes by explaining myself, because me giving you that is exactly what you want. That's how I felt at that time.
No, that's fair enough.
We're past it now, like I said, and there's no bad blood there at all.
No, that's good. Well, thanks for clearing that up, mate. And I hope obviously there maybe can be some sort of reconciliation.
Nice. Do you know what? It'd be nice. I'm sure he's went for his own shit. I'm sure he's a dad now as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just mad. Like, it's mad.
These are both very nice guys, man. You know what I mean?
I know, mate.
Nah, fingers crossed, man. It sounds alright. Let's just FaceTime with mate. Anton's in here. Mate, I was actually, imagine I got you in for the pod and he was just sitting in here. And I'm just sitting in the middle.
Just recording it.
Mediating between you and that.
Make us make up.
Nah, that's good though. And it's nice to hear, obviously, it's nothing like crazy serious or anything. I think years have went past now as well. And
he probably had his reasons for doing it, right?
Yeah.
But when you're in that mode, you only see it from one side, in one perspective. Whereas now, whenever in any situation I'm in now, whether it's an argument with my mum, whether it's there's not a girlfriend, but if there was a girlfriend, if there was an argument with her or whatever, I go, right, why are they feeling that way?
Yeah.
Not on the defence and, well, I feel this way. Well, why are you feeling that way?
Yeah.
And I think that just comes with age, I think.
Yeah, no, that's really mature of you, mate. And just we'll talk about that then. You said obviously there's no girlfriend. What's happening? Are we a single Pringle? Are we enjoying it? Are we looking?
Nah, mate, do you know what? I'm 32 this year, and I don't think I've ever been further away from being with someone. It's crazy, and it's the first time in my life where, I've always been on the grind and always chasing success, and I've always said, as long as I have money, I'll be happy, and I'm building this I'm building my empire and whatnot. And I realised on Christmas Day when literally the only people that texted me was my clients. And I'm sitting there, I've just done the best year in business of my life. I'm feeling the happiest I've ever felt. And the whole purpose is surely building what you build is to share it with someone. And there just isn't someone there. But at the same time, I'm not putting myself out there. Like I said to you, I work in my office 16 hours a day. I literally go to the gym, work, sleep, eat. It's literally all I do. So I do understand that I need to just try and put myself out there a little bit more. Just got to believe the right person will come at the right time, right?
Well, you see a question then, do you think, I was having this conversation with one of my friends who's single, and obviously I've been with my missus for years and years now, but do you think in today's modern era, that it is harder to find like a kind of, not saying a solid girl or something like that, but the conversation that we were talking about was comparing it to back in the day. So I know we're talking about Gran and Grandpa's times, but back then they would meet each other. That would be them going out, and the girl or the boy or vice versa wouldn't need to worry about their partner going home and opening up Instagram and seeing half-naked girls in bikini pictures and all these temptations and lust and etc. etc. Do you think it is just harder to find somebody now in today's era?
Yeah, so my mum's got a saying with this, that it was back in the day when your shoe had a hole in it, you'd fix it. Whereas nowadays, if your shoe has a hole in it, you throw it out. And I think we just live in that society now where we just get something new because we think it's bigger and better. With anything, it's not just relationships. And yeah, our brains are exposed to far too much. We're seeing stuff in social media every single day that we should not be exposed to. We weren't meant to be exposed to that. People living lives, these extravagant lifestyles that, to be honest, they probably aren't even living anyway. As for me dating, it's different again, because now I've always got the thing, what is the reason they're with you for? Because they know who you are, 9 times out of 10. And that is usually a reason why they've maybe came up to you in a night out or whatever. So you've then got this thing, are you just with me for that? Do you just want that side of the life that you think's there? Or do you actually like Anton?
That's mad. I've never really deeped it like that before, but that's a really interesting point. It's so hard for you to distinguish, is this person genuinely for me or is it for the other side of things?
Is it for the other side? Is it for the life that you think that I live? Which I don't, by the way, because I work in an office 16 hours a day. But there's definitely something in that. And then it's interesting as well, because then it's like you go and meet the parents, and the parents know who you are. They've already seen you on TV. It's a weird thing, mate. It's fucking weird.
Because you're like not going and meeting the parents for the first time, like complete strangers.
The parents are almost nervous to meet you rather than the other way around. And it's like they're like, and you're like, you're meant to be the parent. I'm here to show you respect. It's mad.
The dad shaking your hand like, thanks for shagging my daughter, mate. Oh man, that's so funny, man. That's crazy,
you're going to be blessed with a daughter now.
That's so nice, man. Honestly, I've not thought it. Like, oh my god, you know Craig David? I'm here to meet your daughter. What's going on now, man? That's crazy. I've never deeped it like that, bro.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
So yeah, it's been a difficult one, but again, I can't openly say I've been out there trying.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I don't go out at all anymore. I don't put myself in that environment of going out anymore.
No, that's fair enough. Now, damn it, I absolutely hate going out, man. I hate it. So we're going to finish up with a wee kind of quick fire question as well. But just before we do, just to finish off the actual podcast segment, what are the kind of goals now? What is it that you want to achieve? Is it just more kind of PT and coaching? Just keep grinding with that? Or?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think I've always come on to these things and I always say that, you know, I want to build this business or I want to do that, and mate, I'm just happy waking up happy, if I'm honest.
That's nice to hear.
I wake up in the morning and I'm happy. That means something's good, because anything else that you're building within your life doesn't matter if you're not happy. Yeah. So yeah, life's very good just now, very good.
It's really nice to hear, mate, because I'm really guilty of that as well, and it's constantly chasing. But then the problem with that is you achieve things that you've wanted to achieve for years, but then your mind's literally just, right, what's next? And then you don't even like realise you've just achieved something that you wanted to for years.
Yeah, the goalposts will always move.
Yeah.
So as soon as you set, I think it's great to have goals, of course it is, but if you're going to expect that goal to make you feel a certain way, think again, because you won't feel a certain way, because you'll reach that goal, it'll feel nice for 5 minutes, maybe a day, maybe a week. But then you're on to the next thing, and you're constantly chasing happiness when you can choose to be happy in this moment.
Yeah, no, I really like that, mate. Really like that. Well, we'll finish off with a wee quick fire questions, mate. All right, it's got Rapid Rooster, the Black Rooster, of course. Cue the theme tune. Rapid Rooster, Rapid Rooster, Right, who do you think the best Love Islander is of all time?
Chris Hughes.
Just in terms of his personality, or in terms of what he's done out of it?
So I loved Chris before I went on the show. Like, genuinely loved him. Like, I was like, that's it.
Him and Ken were cool, man.
Yeah, they were cool, right? And they just seemed nice guys. They were the type of guys you watch and you're like, I want you to be my mate.
Aye.
And then I came out and I met, and actually Chris was supporting me that year in there. I remember Mum and Dad screenshotting it and stuff, and they obviously showed me it when I came out because they knew I'd love it. And you know, there's so many Love Islanders that I've had certain perceptions of over the years where I went, I can't wait to meet them, and they've just been a dickhead. Whereas Chris was even better in person. We spent a lot of time together in Ibiza. We'd done a few nights in London. So yeah, without a doubt for me, Chris Hughes.
Yeah, he seems like a top guy, to be fair, mate. Really top guy. I think I know the answer to this, but a night in versus a night out?
A night in now, but used to be a night out for sure.
Your biggest dick in a girl?
thought you said your biggest dick.
That's for the X-rated content part of the podcast, bro.
Probably being too self-absorbed. That is it, where it's like you're going out for dinner, all they're doing is taking photos of things, videoing themselves, it's all about them. I just really don't... If you search the word influencer, that...
Aye, pretty much comes up. That's a good one. Most overrated fitness trend?
Oh. Most overrated fitness trend? Right, okay, I'm going to say Manjaro, right? But not because I think it's overrated as a drug for what it is, but I think that people are utilising it wrong, right? So that's pretty much it. So I would say Manjaro, but it's definitely a thing for people that need it.
It's 100%. I think, obviously, see if you are somebody that's like morbidly obese and struggle with their weight all their life and stuff, see the amount of people that I know on it, mate, that are like younger than me even, that were skinny as anything, and they're taking it and they're wasting away, man. And it's like, you don't know what this is doing to you, and in the long term and stuff, you don't need this. Like, just like genuinely, and this might sound harsh, stop being a lazy bastard and just stick to a deficit.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is with the GLP-1, right, is obviously I'm going to go a little bit coachy.
No, it's okay, go for it,
because I've got my camera set up as well, and I want to get actually
go for it. That's fine, man.
But the thing is with GLP-1 is it obviously stops the food noise, right? So ultimately, during that time, what people should be doing is building out the habits, then significantly reducing the dosage. So when the food noise then comes back on, the habits have been built, so you've built the foundations. But obviously people don't do that, right? They just take the jag, don't eat, and then they are just literally wasting away. And that's why you see people with Manjaro face, because they're just malnourished, effectively.
Scary, isn't it?
Yeah, mate, it's mad.
It's so scary seeing some of the people that I've seen in it. Your worst celebrity DM, so either somebody that you've DM'd or somebody that's DM'd you.
Worst? You asked me something about a celebrity. I don't really get that many celebrities DMing me. In terms of like something that they've said that is
just anything. Or have you ever...
Okay, I won't go for a DM, but what I will go was quite mad from a celebrity standpoint was Katie Price saying she fancied me.
Damn.
Yeah, that was pretty mad the first time round.
That's
when
mad.
I watched, when I came off the first time round, she was like, Anton's hot. And then I seen her at an event in Ireland when I came off All Stars, and she was like sitting across the table from me, just going, "You're so bad." And I'm like,
just shooting a shot.
I'm like, but she was sitting next to her boyfriend. I'm not joking, mate. I looked at my mum. I was like, is this happening? But you know, there's a moment that you right where, because obviously, again, like I've been in the industry for a while now, but I'm like, that's Katie Price,
and she's mimicking that I'm hot next to her boyfriend. Imagine her boyfriend's like, "What are you mouthing at him?" Nothing. Forget about it. I have a chance with her.
Yeah, so that's probably better than your DM question.
That's class. That's funny, man. One thing you're extremely proud of.
Getting back to me, that's the most recent thing that I'm really proud of. I genuinely, for so long, never thought that I'd be here again, like to this extent. I felt so lost for so long. I said to my mum the other day, I went, "Mum, I feel like a new man." And she just looked at me and she went, "You're not a new man, you're the old you." And I just burst out crying.
I like that.
I was like, yeah, so getting myself back to a person I'm proud to look in the mirror has been massive for me.
No, lovely stuff, mate. Love that. One thing you regret, the opposite.
Yeah, so that's an interesting one because people say, "Oh, you should never regret anything." I don't regret anything. It's turned me into the person I am. Mate, I regret most decisions I've made over the last 5 years. Not because of how it's affected me. Yes, it probably has turned me into the man I am today, but what I've dragged my family through in that time and seen their son fade away into someone they didn't recognise. So that, for me, is a massive regret, putting my family through everything I've put them through over the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. Your death row meal, so you've got a starter, main, dessert. What's your death row meal?
Fucking starter's a hard one, but we'll come back to starter. Main would be steak and chips, to be honest. A good steak and chip meal, you can't beat that. Yeah, steak and chip. And then dessert, 100% vanilla cheesecake. Vanilla cheesecake, quite plain. Maybe pistachio ice cream with that as
What steak are we talking about? Sorry.
Ribeye.
Yes, good man.
Ribeye, medium rare.
Good man.
Yeah, so that would be that. loads of nice bread. And then starter, you know what? I'm always like one of these people that passes on the starter and has a dessert in the main.
Oh, really?
But if I was to have it, do you know what? One time I went to somewhere in Scotland, it was like in Stirling, and they done like these haggis bonbon things.
Oh.
So it was like deep fried haggis, like in little balls, and it was like the sauce, probably one of the best starters I've ever had.
Aye, people love them, the wee haggis
it was
bonbons.
great. It was
Aye,
great.
people
But,
love them, man.
Yeah, not much a starter, man, but you know.
No, it's a solid meal, mate. I rate that. Fame or peace?
Peace. Peace. Anyone watching this, peace.
That's crazy, right? So that's crazy to pick up on you saying that, right? Because you've experienced, obviously, the fame side of things. And there's millions and millions of people all over the world that are so desperate to be famous and to be big and to be recognised. But nearly 99% of people that get there be like, by the way, you don't want this.
You don't want it. You don't want it. I'm grateful that I've experienced it to know that I don't want it. But I don't think anyone, once they've had it, really actually want it, because it's an invasion of your privacy constantly. I can't go anywhere, even still to this day, without people giving me a look or at least knowing who I am or whatever. And sometimes you just want just privacy, mate. And yeah, fame's not, like, I'm not saying we were super famous. I mean, obviously there was a point where we were the height of fame. But it's just, it's amazing at the time, right? It is amazing. There's this element of it. I'm not going to sit here and say it was all shit. Fucking hell, there was some moments in that time where it was unbelievable. But when you're talking about fame to peace, peace has got to be the ultimate goal of anything, right? Peace should be chosen over anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not all it's cut to be. What does it even mean? Right, I'm going to get a bit deep with this, right? But what does fame even mean?
I know.
That people know who you are? And
I don't know if it's like people know who you are, or people like love the person that you are and getting that mass admiration from people. Or...
It's mad, right? Because like it's just like, right, so even like the million follower things, again, I was deep in this recently, right? Because someone was made a comment. It was my mum actually made a comment, because my mum's like, she used to have like 90,000 followers when I first came off Love Island, but she's now got like 40, and she was like, yeah, it's dropped all the way down to 40. She doesn't really give a shit. But I thought, Mum, you could fill out Ibrox, basically.
Yeah.
And then I deeped it to like me. I could like a fifth of Scotland, technically, that's the size of people that follow me. And then I just thought, but what does it mean? Because when I was in my lowest point, I didn't have one person I could turn to. So what's it for?
Yeah. No, it's interesting that. And it's interesting the people that chase it for so long, all their life.
I mean, I think you always would. I think there was an element of me when I was younger. Me, Biggs, actually, funnily enough, part of our friendship group at that time was Kaz Milligan.
Yeah,
Believe it or not. You would have thought, they who the fuck do they think they are? Like, we were genuinely used to think we were the bollocks, and I think there was an element of us that wanted to be famous, if I'm honest. So yeah, I think there's most people have experienced that where they want some element of it, but it's not all that.
Oh, it's fair. And then the last one, what is one thing people would be shocked to know about you?
Oh, that's a good question. I think the biggest thing that people were shocked about was the whole drug thing, right? Obviously, it's public knowledge now, but that was just not me. See, when I came back and told my best mates, they were like, what? You? Depressed, first of all? You're always the Duracell bunny. You're that guy. You were always away from drugs, alcohol. So I think that was a massive surprise for people. But if you want a fun fact, I used to be a naked butler when I was younger. So
wow.
Yeah, I was a naked butler, yeah. So, when I was like 18.
Was it 18?
Yeah,
was
I
it?
was young, man. So one day, I may as well tell the story now. That's where the bum shaving thing came from.
Ah, okay.
That's where it came from. So
Your mum's getting you ready for work?
Yeah, literally. So literally what had happened was at that time, I'm just sharing a good one because the people probably don't know that.
Aye.
What happened was I was in the gym one day and this guy came up to me just randomly. He was like, Anton, like, you've got a good body. One of my butlers has pulled out for a gig tonight. Can you cover him? And I was like, well, what's a butler? He's like, right, so you wear an apron, blah, 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 and I'll give you 50 quid an hour. And it was like 3 hours. I'm like, fucking right? Like, fucking 18, you're fucking right. So ended up going and doing it, ended up putting on a good gig, and then fucking ended up just doing that for a few years, done like race courses, everything, and
so what are you genuinely, are you cutting about in the scuds but with an apron on?
An apron on, yeah.
So like your arse and all that? So,
yeah, everything.
What?
Yeah. So the story is I ran back and told my mum that night. I remember I went, Mum, I'm going to go and do a naked butler. What's a naked butler? Oh, you just wear like a wee apron, like I'll be covered, but my bum's out. She went, son, you could put rollers on that horse. She went, you're not going out like that. And then that was how
that's how the bum shaving started?
That's how it started.
No way, bro. I didn't even know that. That's class.
So it's probably actually, it wasn't just a random bonding occasion with me and my mum.
I know, I have always wondered, like, when was the first initiation of this? Like, were you either curious or was your mum like, can I shave your arse?
How does that even come about, right?
Oh,
but yeah,
mate, that's
brilliant.
Brilliant, man. Anton, thanks so much, bro. I really appreciate it. It was a pleasure, as always. And it's really, really cool to obviously see the position that you're in right now. You can see just obviously how happy you are, and you know, your intentions are back clear. You just feel like yourself again, and yeah, it shines through, mate. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, likewise with you, mate. It's good to see you doing so well.
Thank you so much, boss. Appreciate it.